Hi, and welcome back to Extreme Trends. Sometimes modern life can be a bummer. We worry about everything from money to what we're gonna wear on Saturday night, never stopping to think how lucky we are. Turn the clock back millions of years and early man was running away from Tyrannosaurus rexes, hiding from pterodactyl, and generally just trying to survive without getting eaten by a savage dinosaur. We were guests on their planet, not the other way around. Thanks to a number of things like a giant asteroid and climate change, these creatures are now extinct. And you'll be glad when you see what vicious predators they were. Let's take a look at 10 terrifying animals you'll be glad are extinct. As we begin, quickly tap that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any amazing content. Number 10. Helicorprion. If you think sharks are terrifying now, then just be glad you weren't alive when this bad boy was roaming the murky depths. You wouldn't so much have lost a limb as been swallowed whole, never to be seen again. The Helicorprion was a type of shark alive around 290 million years ago. While outwardly they look very similar to some sharks we still have around today, there's one massive difference. When you think of shark teeth, you probably think of rows of jagged glass-like spikes. The Helicorprion had a rather particular set of gnashers. Protruding from its bottom jaw was a circular set called a tooth whorl, measuring 18 inches in length, leading scientists to believe that the rest of the shark would have been an impressive 10 meters long. That's not to be sniffed at. One thing's for sure, we have a lot to thank that comet for. Number 9. Titanoboa. Like its name suggests, a Titanoboa was a ginormous snake which lived in the present-day La Guajira in northern Colombia around 60 million years ago. Unlike anything anyone had ever seen before, scientists were shocked when the discovery was made, not knowing what to make of it. According to calculations, the snake would have been around 48 feet long and would weigh around 2,500 pounds. A heavyweight or what? Often referred to as the monster snake. It's not hard to see why you'd run the other way if you encountered this during your morning stroll through the jungle. Luckily, it's thought that the Titanoboa mainly lived on a diet of greens and fish, so it's unlikely that he would have swallowed you up for breakfast. Even so, it could easily break a man in two with its powerful jaw and incredible strength. We're not sure how many fish it would have needed to eat in a day to sustain that incredible weight, but we bet it was a lot. Number 8. Andrewsarchus. You may look at an animal now and think, boy, doesn't he look strange? But believe it or not, today's animals are supermodels compared to what was around millions of years ago. Even sloths. One of the oddest looking dudes was the mammal Andrewsarchus, closely related to hippos and whales. In 1923, the only known skull was found by plantological assistant Kanshun Pao while he was working on a dig. Judging from the skull, it's thought that the creature would have been quite oddly proportioned with a hunched back, shorter back legs and longer front ones, as well as strong, long jaws to tear meat. It had huge incisors and canines. The predator was carnivorous and would have stalked the lands much like a lion or a hyena does. Let's just say that Simba wouldn't want him in his jungle, and Mowgli would climb the highest tree he could find. Number 7. Terror birds. Doesn't the very name send shivers down your spine? What's worse than a giant land mammal with a skull built for crushing bones, you ask? How about an enormous bird who likes meat too? Officially known as the Phorusasses, the terror birds were actually flightless, ranging from 1 to 3 meters in height. These are no dainty blackbirds minding their business and singing a merry tune. Having been the largest predator to live in South America during their time, which is more recently than you might think, they were a force to be reckoned with. Rather than millions of years ago, these creatures were around up to about 17,000 years ago, making them babies compared to our other scaly friends. The terror birds had a particular instrument they used to rip flesh off their prey, a strong curved beak perfect for picking. When you hear the birds singing in the trees, spare a thought for the ancestors. If you want nightmares, that is. Number 6. Dunkleosteus. eyes. If you look up a picture of this guy, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's a Pokemon you're looking at. Unlike lovely, cuddly Pikachu or sweet, melodic Jigglypuff, the Dunkleosteus was extremely aggressive in temperament, more likely to bite off your hand if you stroked it than beg for a treat. Although, stroking it may be difficult as this is a giant fish, albeit a fish like you've never encountered before. With an almost impenetrable armor-like skin, the seafaring fellow had vice-like jaws, perfect for catching unsuspecting water-dwelling crustaceans. Rather than teeth, 2 rows of bone allowed it to crush crabs and other prey with barely a second thought. The largest type of this fish grew up to 6 meters long and, thankfully enough for us, petered out over 350 million years ago. It's been featured on several television programs such as Sea Monsters, a Walking with Dinosaurs trilogy, and River Monsters, making it popular with dinosaur enthusiasts. Not limited to just one region, this scourge of the ocean roamed North America, Poland, Belgium, and Morocco. That's a pretty wide spread for a fish.
Number 5. Gigantopithecus. Our next animal may be one that you recognize. The Gigantopithecus was a type of monkey not too distant from the apes we know today. Some scientists set the date of its existence as recently as 1,000 years ago. According to fossil records, it was the largest ape to have ever roamed the earth, weighing in at 1,320 pounds. As no pelvic or leg bones have ever been found, we don't know for sure how they managed to get around, but it's thought that they were much the same as modern gorillas, spreading the enormous weight onto all fours. With extremely thick and deep jaws and low-crowned flat molars, the diet of this ape was largely made up of hard-to-chew bamboo. Their extinction supposedly came about from intense climate change during the Pleistocene era, which changed the plants in the region. When the fruit supply decreased, there wasn't enough to sustain them, and they died out. By nature, apes are relatively gentle, but are incredibly protective of their space. If they feel threatened, they will do anything within their power to eliminate that threat and protect their young. Although incredibly large, you would want to exit that vicinity pretty sharpish if it took a charge at you. Number 4. Megalodon. Sounds like the name of a WWE wrestler, doesn't it? This incredible species of shark darkened the sea approximately 2.6 million years ago, during the early Miocene era to the end of the Pliocene era. In the American Museum of Natural History, there is a life-size scale of the awe-inspiring jaw of the megalodon. Some researchers believe that it's closely related to the modern great white shark, only much stockier and much scarier, if that's a remote possibility. As only fragments have ever been found, there's some debate over the actual size of the shark. One possible maximum size estimate comes in at 59 feet. The average size of a great white is 26 feet, so as you can imagine, if you ever met face to face with this beast, you wouldn't stand a chance. It's not hard to see why it's got mega in its name, is it? Gordon Hubble from Gainesville, Florida has one of the largest teeth specimens from the shark, measuring over 7.25 inches. Number 3. Pulmonoscorpius. Are you afraid of creepy crawlies? Can't stand spiders? Anything with multiple legs or an awful stinging tail? Look away, for we are about to introduce you to your worst nightmare. The Pulmonoscorpius was known to live in Scotland and was much larger than your average modern-day type. Reaching up to 70 centimeters, it's thought that this critter owed its size due to the higher oxygen content of the Carboniferous period. That's around 299 million years ago to you and I. Unfortunately, we can't testify to how poisonous the venom would be, as it was such a long time ago and there's no evidence. But we can almost certainly bet that it packed a punch. Thought to have dined on a steady diet of reptiles, it steadily manipulated its prey by snipping at it with its pincers to make it pliable enough to eat. Delicious, if you like your meat rare. Number 2. Mega Piranha. Quick little slippery fish, but with razor-sharp teeth and a taste for meat. This isn't just any old piranha. This is the Mega Piranha. Approximately 4 feet in length and with a deadly zigzag of teeth, little is known about the rest of the anatomy. Unlike modern piranhas, this ancestor has twice the amount of teeth. Indigenous to South America, experts disagree over what this not-so-little guy liked to eat. Some believe it was strictly a carnivore, chomping at any meat it could find. Unsuspecting cavemen passing by smaller fish, it's not fussy. However, some believe it could have been herbivorous, like its relative, the colossoma. Judging by the number of movies spawned by the snap-happy piranha, it's hard to imagine it chowing down on a bunch of seaweed. But the jury's out on this one. If you ever find yourself near one today, though, don't dip your toe in the water. You won't be able to wear flip-flops ever again. Number 1. Caprosuchus. Last but not least, the Caprosuchus lived in swamp regions, much like an alligator or crocodile, often lurking in wait for its prey. With a powerful jaw, you wouldn't have stood a chance with this one. Its long legs were built for sprinting after land prey that it couldn't drag into its watery lair. Let's face it, crocodiles now would have your life flashing before your eyes. One look at this, and you may just die on the spot. The teeth were sharp and jagged, perfect for tearing chunks of meat from large animals. Often dubbed the boar croc due to its caniniform teeth, it was a key player during its lifetime. The skull is far longer than anything of its kind we see today. While some wildlife experts and certain members of MTV's Jackass would think nothing about putting their head into a modern-day croc's mouth, it would take a particular type of idiot to mess with one of these. Next time your cat scratches you and you think it hurts, just imagine having a tussle with a Caprosuchus and thank your lucky star that this is 2017. Are there any other terrifying animals you're glad have gone extinct? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you can't get enough of extreme trends, then check out these 2 videos on the screen. With that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next video.
Hi, and welcome back to Extreme Trends. Sometimes modern life can be a bummer. We worry about everything from money to what we're gonna wear on Saturday night, never stopping to think how lucky we are. Turn the clock back millions of years and early man was running away from Tyrannosaurus rexes, hiding from pterodactyl, and rows of jagged glass-like spikes. The helicoprion had a rather particular set of gnashers. Protruding from its bottom jaw was a circular set called a tooth whorl, measuring 18 inches in length, leading scientists to believe that the rest of the shark would have been an impressive 10 meters long. That's not to be sniffed at. Glad are extinct. As we begin, quickly tap that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any amazing content. Number 10. Helicoprion. If you think sharks are terrifying now, then just be glad you weren't alive when this bad boy was roaming the murky depths. You wouldn't so much have lost a limb as been swallowed whole, never to be seen again. The Helicoprion was a type of shark alive around 290 million years ago. While outwardly they look very similar to some sharks we still have around today, there's one massive difference. When you think of shark teeth, you probably think of really just trying to survive without getting eaten by a savage dinosaur. We were guests on their planet, not the other way around. Thanks to a number of things like a giant asteroid and climate change, these creatures are now extinct. And you'll be glad when you see what vicious predators they were. Let's take a look at 10 terrifying animals you'll be